Hi, I'm Mandy. I'm 53 years old and live in the UK. I've got 3 kids, 2 of them are adults now, and my daughter has a son who's 4, so I'm also a grandmother. So I'm not your normal YouTuber, obviously. I'm a little bit older and wrinklier, but I thought I should make some videos. This is my first one, but I really feel it's right to talk about my spiritual experiences, which are quite varied, and I'd say my life has been a little less ordinary. Lots of things have happened throughout my life, which is great. Sometimes it's a bit weird, but it's great. Excuse me. So for any of you out there who are either spiritually minded or interested in the subject of spirituality, I hope you enjoy this. I obviously realise that my ideas, memories, thoughts about this subject everyone won't agree with it, and that's okay. I totally respect everyone's view, but I'd quite like it if the channel could be kept pleasant and kind, really, not just for myself but for people commenting. So I'm going to start with the very earliest memory. Now, this memory was actually before I was born, before I was me in this body. What we call a pre-birth memory. Now, all through my life, as long as I can remember, certainly from being a toddler, I've had this memory, and it's actually as clear to me as any other memory. In fact, in many ways it's clearer. It's constantly there, and it always has been. So this isn't something that I've decided over time, or that I've added to in any way over time. I won't I won't elaborate on what the actual facts are that I remember of what happened. In recent months, I've actually made contact with a few other people, some of who have very similar memories to me, but I know it's rare, and I know it's going to seem very strange to a lot of you, and that's absolutely fine. You could tend to believe things that you've experienced yourself. So I'm going to start by explaining what I remember from before I was born. I was in a large room, or when I say room, that's how I perceive it now as a human being, but maybe it was just a large space. It was completely white, a completely white room space, with not much detail that I can remember. However, there was like a window, a large window, and again I say window, but that's my human interpretation of what it was, but that's how I perceive it now. A large window, sort of an oval shape, and through that window I could see planet Earth. Now, I was slightly looking down on planet Earth, but not that much, strangely, and I could see most of it. It's really strange because I don't understand how, but I could see most of it, and it was very vivid blues, greens, just like it is when you see it in a picture, but more so, more vivid. And I recognised it. I definitely recognised it. And beside me, to my left, but just slightly higher up, was what I describe as a higher being. I try very hard when I talk about these things not to bring any sort of religion into it, God, heaven, etc., because I suppose I did see it as a God figure, but I'm not religious in the slightest, and I don't want my videos to be aimed at any religion, because in my view, and it is just my view, all religions are the same. We just have a different understanding of what's the bigger picture, if you like. So I was next to this higher being, and I wasn't scared or concerned in any way, and it seemed very familiar, this situation. Like, I recognise this situation, and the higher being next to me told me that I was going down to the earth to be born into a body and to live a life on planet Earth. And I wasn't resistant at all, which is unusual, I think, because a few of the people I've spoken to who've also had pre-birth memories said they were very resistant. They were, sort of emotionally kicking and screaming, so to speak, so they didn't want to go. But I didn't feel like that at all. I didn't feel like that. It seemed familiar. I'm pretty sure I'd been through this whole process before, i.e. I'd gone to Earth before to live a life. I understood what was happening, but I also understood that there was some sort of mission, and I use the word mission lightly, but something I had to do during this lifetime. I now believe we all have these missions to do, basically just for self-growth, to grow spiritually through this lifetime. And anyway, so I said to the higher being next to me, and when I say, I'm not sure I actually spoke it in words like we do here, whether it was a telepathic communication. I expect it was, but how I perceive it now is I was speaking and said, what do I have to do? I want you to know what that mission was. And the higher being said to me, you will know when you find it. That's all he said to me. And I say he because it felt like a male entity. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know, it felt male. But again, you know, it's difficult because here I am in a human form, and obviously, even though I know my memories are solid, what I remember solid, the way I interpret things like speech, or did I have a body, didn't I have a body, I'm absolutely not sure, because I couldn't see myself, I was just there. And in fact, I can't remember the higher being. I knew he was there and he was communicating to me from there, but I don't remember seeing him. Whether it was just energy, I'm not sure. Anyway, this is why I will not sort of exaggerate in any way and sort of paint pictures that I didn't see. I want to keep it really real and candid. That was it really. That was the memory. And albeit it's not a huge memory, some people say they've experienced a lot more, chosen their families and all these things which they may well have done, and maybe I did, but I certainly can't remember any of that. It was very short and just based in this one location, and I presume after this conversation with a higher being where I was looking at the earth, that's when I was sent down into my human existence. However, although it's such a short memory, if you like, it's like incredibly clear. It's so clear, it's the clearest thing in my head, and it makes up a massive part of my identity, and you know, has changed the person I am, or changed from the person maybe I would have been if I didn't have this memory, because I've lived my whole life. You know, I've made mistakes, we all make mistakes, but I try to live my life with kindness. And also one of the main things, one of the main themes through my life, I guess, has been acceptance. I'm very big on acceptance. And when I say acceptance, I mean accepting situations that happen to and around me. So whether they be good experiences, bad experiences, losses, illnesses, you know, everything. I do feel very strongly that these things happen for a reason, and that however awful they may seem at the time, the bad ones, or however amazing they seem at the time, they're necessary for growth in this lifetime, to grow spiritually. I also believe that people come in and out of our lives. Some stay, some are very fleeting. But I believe there's many people that come into our lives to impact our life in some way, maybe change the direction of our life. I'm not sure, but I feel that. And there has been a few people in my life I've met who I'm convinced I knew before this place. You know, I'm just convinced. I can't prove that. It's just a gut feeling. So anyway, my videos, as I say, this is my first one, but my videos are going to be about spiritual things and about things that have happened in my life, because, you know, it's how it's impacted me and the experiences I've had. What I'd say is I've had a lot of experiences that aren't the norm in this life, you know, things that people probably roll their eyes at because understandably they might think, yeah, okay, you know, she's she's not quite right. She thinks this happened and that happened. But, you know, I know the truth, and I'm willing to share that, and people either choose to believe me or at least question it, and you know, be accepting of that's my memories or views, or they don't, and that's okay too. And I fully respect everybody's opinions. I fully respect that it's very, very hard to take on board some of the things I've said today and some of the things I will say in future videos when you've not experienced that yourself. One question I've always had is why I, and as I said, more recently, a few other people I've met who've also had a pre-birth memory, why we remember and others don't. Because I don't think for a second I'm in any way special or anything. It's just for some reason I can remember and some other people remember, but the vast majority of people don't, at least not consciously, maybe at some subconscious level. So, you know, we can talk about that more in future videos. You know, some of the things that have happened in my life that, you know, are very, very strange ones. For example, based in intensive care, when I had someone very close to me pretty much dying, and I'll go into that story later, but basically it involved healing very unexpectedly, but I was told that I could do it, and with amazing consequences. But there's lots and lots of other things along the way. I also now, my youngest child, who's 13, just 13, has autism, high functioning autism. I home educate him and I love him to bits, but it's a challenge. But I do strongly believe he's here to teach me, and it's, you know, it's one of my purposes, at least, to be here to show the compassion, understanding and patience that I need. I don't always succeed at that. It's hard, and I often fail. But, you know, it's these sort of things. But there's a lot of stories I can share, some of which make your hair stand on end, believe me. But I'll do that in future videos. So anyway, it's been nice to talk to you all. I hope you can follow me, and you know, I've got so much more to tell you. This is just starting at the beginning and telling you a little bit about my pre-birth memory. If anyone wants to put any questions in the comments, please do, or any suggestions of things to talk about. Obviously I'm not an expert on everything, but I can talk about if I've been affected by that particular thing, and I will always be honest and open. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Yeah, so that's it really. I'd really appreciate it if comments could be kept kind. It's not just for me. I'm kind of a bit old and ugly now to really care, frankly, but obviously other people that comment, they don't deserve to have any negative comments put at them. Either put something nice, something neutral, or nothing at all. That would be appreciated. Anyway, see you again soon. Bye.